Hello, whoever's out there. Just fiddling around working with developing a new tool, Technicolor. Do. Let's see here. Take that, and I go over here, and I do it with this. See how we're looking. Oh, hello. I don't know how to pronounce your name. So yeah. Do this. These are actually pretty good defaults, and that's kind of what I've been concerned about is the default system. This is Sony S. I actually got to change that because I just copied it over. There we go. That looks a lot better. Rendered what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want that to be set to 60%. Because that is kind of where it is. That is extra vibrant. We're just going to pull with this guy a little bit back in. Keep it lively. I just reach to that max. Let's see. We're looking there. Gather it in. Just two. Just kind of just play around with these three sliders. And you come back up and play with the blocks. Anirudra. 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 Did I get that right? Anirudra. There we go. So we have this. Is that perception? Let's think about this code again. Where are we? So we're working with that expand. I'm going to push. Expand, gather to diagonal relative, gather to expand from diagonal relative, scaling the threshold. Yeah, I've made several variations of this. So if And an absolute expanded is D, which is color minus the gray. 1 plus the amount times 1 plus the amount. Amount is our strength. So it always starts at 1. Yeah, that's fine. So we're increasing over 1 so that it's multiplying, and then it's increasing over 1, expand, and then if the color is below the threshold, color I is below the threshold, gray plus the result is the gray plus the expanded. Else is just the color. It actually should be a so max D ceiling. I'm setting the ceiling again. Max D is ceiling. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it takes time. I'm glad that you were able to get the OFX version up and running. I know some people had an issue with it. So ceiling is getting set to push out, but ceiling is mount ceiling, and this one mount ceiling and threshold is what we're doing. So ceiling is max D equals ceiling. Then the max D equals ceiling times that. And that would be yeah. The Windows version, yeah, I don't know when that will be coming. I'm not 100% sure on that. I really don't know why people would want to watch me when I'm just working live and I have no plan to what I'm doing. I'm actually just working. This is just a thought concept. If anyone would sit here and watch me, we should just turn on music. Where's the preference that I edit the video down into one of those speed ramp things? Oh. All right, so we are expanding. Let's call it that. More aggressive spray. Let's just double check that. The value is color equals gray. Gray is color. 3, but that is wrong because I need gray. And the color. Just the gray values divided by gray. 10 slope. Slope pivot. Yeah, that does make sense. The pivot and slope would be minus gray pinch. All right, let's see what that does. By resetting resolve again. Have it yell at me that I probably coded it wrong. And it always yells at me that I did it wrong. Didn't yell at me that I did it wrong. I'm liking that. It's nicer. It's what I want. We look at the cube. And then a much fatter bottom is what I'm trying to get it to do. I want the hues that are near the bottom to expand outward faster than the hues near the middle, and I want that taper, so I'm not losing saturation. Switch this thing down to oops daisy. All my settings are built from normal as the preset. So yeah, that is an interesting feel. These feel right. Global die strength needs to be strong in this new model for 3B. Yeah, there is a difference in terms of how it's that expansion out. You can see if we're in this model, which is the previous one, when we do push out, it's pushing out everywhere evenly. I don't want the midtones to push. So we have this, we have that squishy squash. If we look at it like that, looking at the cube pinch. Actually let off the pinch a little. It's getting that a little bit more. How do we bring it even lower? So you get that nice, rich, long saturation. Based on. So yeah, if anyone's paying attention to this at this point, we're, 22 minutes in, we're modeling Technicolor. So Technicolor, you would get a black and white negative register, and then you would split red light, green light, and blue light, and you'd end up with 3 black and white registers. Those would then be acid etched with a gel matrix and actual physical ink dyes. And then you'd have a cyan plate, a magenta plate, and a yellow plate, along with a half-flashed black plate. What this is doing is a lot of code to create that we can actually look at. This is my cyan plate under these settings, my magenta plate. Oops, that might be broken. I changed a setting. I gotta fix that. But this is what it's producing. And the end result is, here's the black and white half flash negative. We also have a grain layer that is getting added to all the layers. And this is the grain that is in each layer individually, composited together. But you can see here, this is the cyan layer. There is nothing here but cyan and the shape of it. And if we go up here, we're changing how light transfers through it, how thin it is. And affecting that. We can also pick different base hues. So this is a different cyan. That's pure cyan. And then this cyan is a different one as well. And this is just random digits that I've kind of put in there. We got the same thing going with, we were looking at our yellow. We can pick different hues of yellow. Our light source, that is the projector, is currently set to pure white, and our black hue is a, because like, is it pure black, like the restriction of all color, like a Vanta black, or is it, it's paint. Think paint, think ink when you're thinking through that. So it creates a triplet value for those. These are then run through a RGB to like a spectral calculation to figure out, based on this triplet, what would be the theoretical transmission rate at different wavelengths of light. And you can change how these different wavelengths of light are positioned and set. And then you can also change how this transmittance affects the shape of those wavelengths of light, so that as it measures and does all its math, it figures out what is the notch that this ink is absorbing from wavelength. Then you take those plates together individually and clickety-clack them out in a multiplicative way, so that it's like the light passing through and restricting them. And so right now, you can see this is not pure cyan. It's actually kind of greenish as it tapers away. If you're looking at down here, it's way on the edge of cyan. It's almost heading into aquamarine range. And that is getting multiplied with the black, with the yellow, the magenta layers that you can, in this diagnostic, individually see, except for the magenta, because I broke it in the code. Fiddling around with a different way of doing things. And that ends up making your composite image. And now I know I fiddled around with these settings here. So we have to bring this back. Let's fiddle with settings here. No, we're just doing it. There we go. It was very low transmittance. So what I'm trying to do is play around with here, like this build, you can see these images are pretty similar between the two, but the math is different in terms of how they run. So in this one, in version 3, you can see here's how the settings look to make this image. And here is, this is version 3. So how the settings work to make that image. And then we've been reducing down the complexity and changing the controls and fixing the code, cleaning up the code and fixing things so that you can then, this is how green flashes, how much green from the green black and white was flashed onto the black gel. So you can change how the black gel relates to everything. But there is no one here listening to me. Probably should just record this all separately. No one cares. That's the funny bit. No one cares. That is looking nice and good. I know this changes how that die pulls. We'll probably need to tweak. These zones don't feel like they do much. You can see if we're looking at the diagnostic view of grain. What's that doing? So as you increase it, that becomes, there's a lot more grain, less grain. Probability. I have to tweak that. I don't feel like it's doing what I want it to do in terms of, they do dance, they do change. You can see that the grain moves. There's nuance, so I get that nice little faux texture and blurring around the edges of things. A couple other things I want to add in as well, which is sometimes the plates didn't line up. Like if you laid these matted plates on top of each other and they weren't perfectly aligned, there would be some jitter offset. But I think in terms of this, I'm liking how this is looking and what it's doing. Can I get here without this? That is the overarching question. is rich. It is rich. And so yeah, that is the question. What do you think of Technicolor to a degree? There's this. I don't know. I haven't made this available yet. It's kind of helpful. This is really cool too. You can see it on the scopes what it's doing. We can get even more magnetism to our blues. Push away from our secondaries. You can really pull this one up. Just feels rich right there. And I know there are some people that would say, it does look like an onion now. That is what I was going for. We'll probably have to come back here and just, what we could do is play around. Do we have this enabled over here? Enable. Yeah, buddy. Just change the roll off characteristics a little bit. Oh, that is fun. Does that feel Technicolor to you? Anyways, I'm going to turn this off for now. See if anyone tunes in later. Just playing around with what live does.